I can already tell that this is going to be a very, very fun year. The conversations in and around fashion have never been more exciting as they have been heading into 2025. And with all of the big fashion moments that took place in 2024, I believe that 2025 is going to be an even bigger year for the world of fashion. And as per my civic duty as a fashion MF with a microphone, I asked some of you guys, what are your hot fashion predictions for the new year? I received a lot of great takes and some less than creative ideas, but regardless, these are the hottest fashion predictions for 2025. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. What to do? It's nice to meet you. Let's talk 2025 fashion. Before we begin, if you agree, disagree, laugh, or get upset about any of the predictions or opinions in this video, let your voice be heard down in the comments. Number one of the best takes of the new year is that personal style will die or is dead in 2025. Maybe you've heard rumblings of the idea that personal style has taken a hit in the 2020s. What does it mean to have personal style in an era where all we need to know about how you dress comes from which part of TikTok's algorithm you spend the most time scrolling on? When Ralph Lauren said,
"There are people that make products, but the product is part of their life. They live what they are." I was selling what I was, what I believed in. My clothes were part of the dream. My clothes were part of the world. You can't separate clothing. In my world, you can't set the environment away from what you're wearing.
he didn't know it, but he was ahead of his time with this idea of world building. The internet has developed worlds that within a few taps we can all step into. If you're being fed the aesthetics of a wealthy Long Island woman in her 50s and 60s, don't fret. We have something for you. It's called the coastal grandma look, and it is shoppable within a few taps. If you've been subtly influenced by the sultry looks of eroticized 2000 office looks, we've got something for you. It's called the Office Siren, and guess what? It's shoppable. I'm looking at all the dudes who wear baggy jeans and boxy, cropped in the body t-shirts or jackets. All the people who are proportion, silhouette demons who only think about fashion when it comes to proportion and silhouette, don't think that you are immune to changing tides, trends, and social media fashion. The bottom line of this very poorly executed bit is that the internet and TikTok and short form media has totally changed the way that we interact with fashion, both online and in real life. And the worlds that we've created in these online spaces are more monetizable and more shoppable, more consumer focused than ever before. And it's caused a lot of people to lose a bit of personal style in exchange for stepping into all of these different aesthetics or cores or whatever you want to call them. Office Siren. I know that I'm not above influence, especially with how we've all been consuming content over the last 5 years, since 2020, I would say. But why is the death of personal style one of the best hot trend predictions for 2025? I think self-awareness is an important first step in order to attempt to make change. And if you love the way you dress, fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. This next 10 seconds isn't for you. But if you're bothered by the fast-paced nature of trends, the desire to find the newest fashion core or aesthetic, and want to start building a timeless wardrobe, then you have to change your interaction or how you interact with social media. People didn't buy punk core fashion. They were punk. People didn't buy cottage core. They lived on cottages and wore clothes that fit within that lifestyle. And in today's era, in 2025, a lot of people want the clothes, but not the lifestyle. So there's no personal relation to the clothing with the environments that they're living in. There's no personality within the clothing. It's just aesthetic hopping from one trend to another. Some of you might be offended by what I just said. I'm kind of offended of myself for what I just said, but I'm not going to sit here and demonize this line of thinking altogether. I think, to play devil's advocate, as a bit of self-contradiction, I think there is some value to recognizing aesthetics and this idea or this expression of world building within fashion. Martin Margiela in the 80s and 90s did a fantastic job of bringing you into his world of design. And of course, there are still brands that do a fantastic job of world building. And there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of nuance in this idea that personal style is dead. You could argue that personal style is flourishing more than ever before, but I think that a lot of people see the internet and see cores and aesthetics and how people dress based on algorithms as a death in personal style. People are acquiescing or they're becoming an aesthetic without living the lifestyle. And there's a disconnect for some fashion thinkers who just don't like that idea. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but I'm presenting the idea to you. Hopefully that's the point of this. What do you think? Is personal style becoming less relevant in 2025? Or is there some weird reality where it's the opposite and people are actually dressing more personably than ever before? I plan on making an entire video about this topic, and if you want to see that, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Number 2, skinny jeans are coming back. This is one of the worst takes of 2025, even though I kind of believe in it myself. Skinny jeans are not coming back, you guys. Gen Z is still the generation driving youth culture and popular culture trends in the now, in 2025. And I guarantee you, if you're Gen Z, if you're someone born between 1997 and whatever the other date is, then I guarantee that these people are not going to be just all of a sudden switching from wearing baggy jeans, which they've loved and continue to love, to skinny jeans in a matter of 12 months. From a full-scale takeover. Skinny jeans are not just going to take back over, right? Nobody in Gen Z is dressing in skinny jeans. None of the Gen Z celebrities, none of the Gen Z tastemakers. Think about it. Gen Z brought back jorts, low-rise jeans, and big, and I do mean big pants. And you're telling me all of a sudden people are going to change that silhouette in 2025 because are they bored of baggy jeans? If anything, I think jeans could get even baggier. Honestly, they could get even bigger, but don't quote me on that. The only way that skinny jeans become popular in 2025 is if every influencer, every celebrity, every tastemaker in the world collectively says, okay, we're done with baggy pants. It's time to move to skinny jeans. And even if that were to happen, I guarantee by the end of the year, most people will stay with wider silhouettes, and they'll probably say that wider silhouettes are more flattering in general. Some of the other fashion YouTubers are saying that pants will get skinnier. They won't become skinny jeans, but maybe they'll become regular fitting or straight fitting jeans that will become more popular. But after what I saw in 2024, I feel like I have to push back on that. I even predicted and said in 2024 that skinny jeans might become more popular, but even in 2024, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see any inclination that people wanted to wear skinny jeans over wider fitting jeans, or that they thought skinnier jeans were more stylish than wider fitting jeans. Until Gen Alpha begins setting youth culture trends and then popular culture trends, I don't see this taking place. We are still very much so in an era of baggy and wide silhouette pants, and I don't even think it's reached full saturation or full maturity amongst the full gamut of people who own clothes and wear pants of varying silhouette style. I also think that most fashion folks who are referencing different pieces and silhouettes and styles from previous eras aren't looking back at kind of the 2010s or the late 2000s. They're looking back at the 60s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, where the silhouettes of those eras were just not skinny jeans. And I think that these references are still very popular right now. Number 3, a sneaker revival is coming in 2025. I've found out that it's pretty hard to predict new trends, but it's even harder to predict when old trends will become popular again. And in the case of sneakers are in a rough patch in the eyes of a lot of people. There could be a sneaker revival in 2025, but I highly doubt it. But here are some facts about the sneaker world that might play into a sneaker revival or might play into the shifting of culture in the sneaker world. Nike just hired a new CEO in late 2024. His name is Elliot Hill. From my understanding, Hill is going to be tasked with getting Nike's stock and market share back up to where it was before it began to slump. The sneaker market is estimated to be worth $113 billion with a B by 2033, which might make you think that, sneakers are doing pretty well culturally. $113 billion, that's a lot of money. But in all honesty, as someone who thinks that they have a pulse on the world of sneakers, I think the industry has changed pretty dramatically over the last 5 years, over the last 10 years. It's really gone through some true changes. People still love to wear sneakers and still love sneakers. Don't get it twisted. But sneakers just aren't as hot of an item of footwear as what they used to be. Now, of course, this is subjective. I'm approaching this from someone who is an American or a United States of American living in the Western world, living in cities like New York City, and right now I'm in Denver, and I see a shift taking place. There's an argument to be made if you're living in Berlin, if you're living in South Africa, if you're living in parts of Asia. It could be a totally different sphere of culture and influence taking place. And if it is, let me know down in the comments. But I think overall, from the internet and from the worlds that I'm a part of, going back to the death of personal style and world building, the worlds that I'm a part of, sneakers have taken a backseat to loafers, derbies, mules, boots, other things, right? To clarify, as it pertains to what makes something look as cool as it can look, or what makes something cool. Number 4, one of my favorite 2025 hot fashion takes is that scarves are going to take over winter styling this year. Scarves, balaclavas, head coverings are essential during the cold winter months. But who says these fashion essentials can't also be incredibly stylish? Scarves have always been important for winter styling, but I think in winter 2025, they will continue to dominate street looks. In women's wear, they tend to add a dramatic pop of color. In menswear, they often are more subtle and warm in tone, but they work well in both scenarios. I like this take. I think it's one of the best takes that I received from you guys, and I think scarves and outfits and the playing with these kind of accessories will only continue to be more popular in 2025. Number 5, brands matter less, and shape, design, and silhouette matter more. To me, this is a great take, and I absolutely love this take. Over the course of the last several years, there seems to be more an emphasis on the fundamentals of fashion as opposed to wearing X, Y, or Z brand. Gen Z, because of the internet, is the most informed fashion generation of all time. And I kind of alluded to this earlier, but one of the pillars of understanding what's important to Gen Z as it pertains to knowing what it means to be stylish, to be cool, to be someone who's got aura or sauce, is understanding shape and silhouette within outfits. For better or for worse, these ideas have permeated online and have taken possession of a lot of the fashion world. And it's funny, Miu Miu, Prada, and Loewe were the quote-unquote hottest brands of 2024. And when I look at these brands, I look at their collections and their clothes, these brands completely understand the importance of creating interesting shapes, silhouettes, and having very function-forward designs that are playful within that realm. And for these brands, it's not just about jackets and pants. We're talking about bag shapes, hair, shoes, belts. All of these things have taken on a life of their own in 2025. And as we continue to progress through this year, I think it'll only become, these ideas will only become bigger for 2025. Let's get a word in for today's sponsor, Squarespace. Are you interested in making your very own website for a brand or creative project? Squarespace offers a comprehensive amount of features to help you create the website that you've always wanted. If you want to sell your products direct to consumer, or if you want to showcase your body of work, Squarespace makes it easy to do that and more. Currently, I'm using my Squarespace website as a hub for all of my content and as a way to direct those interested to my podcast and social media. If you need a design to help nudge you into creating your first website, this is your sign. Visit squarespace.com/DrewJoyner for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Number 6, formal wear and tailoring mixed with streetwear. I've been ringing the alarm bells on streetwear for some time now. And what I mean by ringing the alarm bells is I've been asking what's happening in streetwear. Streetwear has changed and will continue to change and evolve in 2025. What's crazy to me is that streetwear can look like this, but can also look like this. And as someone who's been a fan of streetwear for a better half of a decade, I can't wait to see how the language around streetwear evolves throughout the course of this year. Personally, I like the idea that streetwear and tailoring and like formal clothes and menswear will kind of mix together, but I feel like there needs to be more investigation taking place when it comes to the entire world of streetwear, because after, Virgil Abloh and Supreme and Louis Vuitton and all these things were taking place, it seems like, all of the investigative journalism on streetwear has kind of changed into, everything being about social media, TikTok fashion, cores, the corification of things. And I kind of wish, there was some journalists out there or some publication that would explore like what is streetwear in 2025. That could be your title. What is streetwear in 2025? Question mark. Highsnobiety, Hypebeast, Complex, Vogue, somebody. Number 7, climate conscious fashion will get bigger in the new year. Sadly, unfortunately, I don't think that this is that good of a take for 2025. I would put it into the bucket of one of the worst takes. And it's sad for a couple of reasons. This is a bit cynical, but from the way that I understand it now, is that fashion and industries like fashion will never be climate positive with how they currently operate. And in a lot of instances, the governments of the world, the prevailing wisdom of people talking about climate conscious fashion, they put a lot of the onus on the consumers and they put less of the onus on the corporations, the conglomerates of the world to change, as opposed to, basically they want people to change and not corporations, right? I've personally thrifted and gone thrifting countless times. I've bought secondhand items a countless number of not countless. I've bought secondhand items very, very frequently. I support many, many independent brands, creatives, and boutiques. But the vast majority of people who are looking to buy clothing care about one thing. And that one thing is, how much does the garment cost? And rightfully so. When you can't afford food, when housing prices are going up, when you're drowning in debt, why would you choose a organic cotton t-shirt that's $5 when you can buy a polyester t-shirt that's 50 cents, as an example? People don't, and they won't under this system. And while there may be brands that grow in prominence that are more founded or rooted in sustainability within fashion, in 2025, unless there's some kind of miracle that takes place, there's no way that they'll be able to make up ground for the environmental impact of fast fashion companies like Zara, Temu, and Shein. These 3 companies offer cheap, trendy clothing to the masses and have captured a massive majority in market share all over the world. And while I personally strongly dislike these companies, there would need to be a seismic shift taking place, or something that would take place to change the macro culture of how the majority of people consume fashion online and in real life and in all the spaces, in all the worlds. As long as these companies are as big as they are, the environment is Comment part 2 if you want to see a part 2, and if you have any opinions about the ideas that I talked about in this video, drop them down below. As always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2025. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you and everyone who's alive. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good, post-vid? Welcome to the first post-vid of the year, the first fist bumps of 2025. Reach out your fist. Give me a fist bump right there. Bop! Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. 2 times for the beginning of 2025. Got to get us right. Bop! I appreciate you immensely for staying to the end. Are you excited or nervous about 2025? Let me know down in the comments, excited or nervous. I'm personally excited about 2025. I consider myself to be an optimist in all regards. And so for whatever reason, the way my wiring works is that I'm always going to think of the positive, the good outcomes, the things that will be working in mine and your benefits for the new year. So that's where I stand. Let me know how you feel down in the comments. Hashtag PVV when you answer. Let me know if you want part 2 in this video. Love y'all, PVV. We'll see you next week or whenever I see you. Okay? Peace. Love you. Bye.